Now, if you've seen a paper or caught the news today, then you can't have missed the fact that for the first time in NHS history, junior doctors will not be providing any emergency care as they strike in a row over new contracts.
Well, up and down the country, picket lines have been drawn, but with over 100,000 appointments and 13,000 operations postponed, are people starting to lose sympathy with the striking medics?
Well, we're going to cross live now to St Thomas's Hospital in London to join Dr Ranj, who as a junior doctor is supporting the strikes. Good morning, Ranj. How did it ever get to this?
Good morning, guys. We're on, as you said, one of the picket lines outside St Thomas's Hospital. Probably one of the busiest picket lines, but one of many up and down the country. We're here with a whole host of junior doctor colleagues of mine and other healthcare professionals because we all feel so worried with this contract that is threatened to be forced through and is possibly going to lead to a massive destabilisation of the NHS. It's got to this because basically the government are now digging in their heels. They have decided that they are going to force through a contract that we fundamentally feel is not just unfair, but is actually unsafe. And that's why we're so worried, and that's why we're here. Unfortunately, I'm hoping that someone in the government is listening to us.
Well, the government say that they're going to provide 24-hour care, the same care at the weekends as junior. Anyone who's gone to a hospital at the weekend will know that it's not the same. It's not the same sort of care. They appear on paper to be offering you a 13.5% pay increase. They've gone up from 11%. And so, I mean, it's quite clear that both sides have dug their heels in here. The doctors are being intransigent as well.
Well, I would say that as doctors, we're not unreasonable people. We have been round the negotiating table time and time again. The problem is there are lots and lots of discrepancies and holes in the contract that is being proposed, and that's what's leading it to be fundamentally unfair. How can you provide a contract that is supposed to be cost neutral, but at the same time you're saying we're giving doctors a pay rise? When you're saying that the contract is fair, but the own equality assessment has shown that it disadvantages women, carers and lone parents. There's so many holes like that in the contract that we can't simply just allow it to be thrown out as a blanket policy without actually thinking about it, because it's going to lead to real harm.
Well, this strike is different. This time there is no emergency care. Operations have been cancelled. There's patients that are very, very frustrated today and tomorrow. There is a big possibility here that people may die. If one person dies and that is on your hands, how will you feel when this is your profession, where you have said that you will help people and heal the sick, and this is the reality that you're facing?
See, those very things are the reasons we are striking in the first place. As you quite rightly said, Holly, we all have a duty of care to our patients, and that's why we're here. Now, lots of people at home will be worried about whether emergency care is available at all, and we can safely reassure everybody that everyone else who works in the NHS, that includes consultants, senior doctors, nurses, pharmacists, everybody has pulled out all the stops. Lots of big contingency plans have been put in place to make sure that things like emergency care is still available between the hours of 9 to 5 today and tomorrow when this junior strike is in progress. I'm actually here with Kitty, who is a junior doctor in London, who was there at the negotiations at the very start with the government. And she is one of the people who knows exactly what is going on at the heart of this situation. So if I can just throw to her quickly, Kitty, let us know, how has it got to this stage?
I've been a junior doctor for 12 years and I've been involved in these negotiations for 3 years, and I can honestly say that today is one of the saddest days that I have had in my medical career. I think that looking at the doctors around us here, none of us want to be on this picket. We're here because the government just has refused to listen, has refused to remove the threat of imposition and kept that hanging over, and we really need them to remove the threat and come back to negotiate with us fairly.
As Kitty explained there, guys, Jeremy Hunt has been offered an olive branch several times and he's refused it.
Can I just jump in and ask, we saw a doctor resign yesterday on Good Morning Britain. Does this mean if this does go through, if you're forced to accept this new contract, that doctors will leave the profession?
I think, sadly, people are already resigning, and more will resign if the contract is forced through. Remember, Jeremy Hunt was given several offers. Firstly, he could have avoided this strike by lifting the threat of imposition. He said no to that. A cross-party letter was sent to him last week saying, if you're not going to do that, then at least pilot this contract in a few areas to see if it will work. Again, he said no. I think people need to see junior doctors are out here protesting this, but we're not seeing Jeremy Hunt out here at all. That is really telling in itself, and that should get people seriously worried.
Off by saying if for any reason at the end of this unprecedented 48-hour strike there isn't a resolution, what happens next?
Unfortunately, I think there will be more strikes, and they may be for longer, and that's not something that we want. As Kitty said, we all have a very, very heavy heart. We do not want to do this, but we have been backed into a corner. We don't have any other means to fight for our patients. We don't have any other means to fight for our NHS. This is the only way we are getting heard. The doors are being slammed in our face, and we have no choice but to stand up and strike.
Do you believe that you have public support now, and that you'll continue to have that public support if these strikes continue?
One of the best things that we have seen is the support from the general public. Surveys have consistently shown that the majority of people are behind us. I was working in A&E till midnight last night, and my patients consistently supported us. I'm hoping that the public will listen to us. I'm hoping that they will understand where we're coming from and why we are doing this. We're doing this for them.
Okay, Ranj.
And if they support us, we can promise that we will not let them down.
Thank you, Ranj. We're going to have to leave it there, sadly. Thank you very much.